About a year ago, actually, we received a phone call from a gentleman who was, which was Officer Harris, and he was interested in having his uniform tested, and really caught us off guard because we just weren't, you know, it's been a while.
He was driving south on Broadway when the first plane hit. He parked his car, his vehicle, he calls it, parked his vehicle beside, just east of the World Trade Center, and got out to start assisting people. And then with about an hour later, when the building started coming down, he actually got covered underneath, buried on a car. His car was crushed. His car is actually going to be in the World Trade Center Museum.
He's apparently been impacted. He was a first responder from the site. He still had a uniform that he sealed up on the day of 9/11.
Eventually, he traveled here to the lab, and he wanted to hand deliver it.
Dressed up in a suit, in a nice suit, obviously thought he's going to someplace more important than he was going. But he took it very seriously, and he came and he told us his story. Officer Harris has brought us a uniform that he was wearing the day of the 9/11 event. He was
injured, was exposed, covered in dust. Put this uniform into a sealed container, a bag in a sealed container on that day. And even after all of this went through, there was no doubt that he came in contact with dust and debris from the site. He felt he had to bring this to us, just as something he had to do before he retired and moved on from the experience. So it gives you an idea how much it's lasting in his mind.
It was the tremendous psychic even in the country that these people that were impacted that day, they aren't over it yet. We still have a question. Is this a long-term, low-level health threat? I personally found it very interesting because I always just wanted to know, aside from what we saw in the dust, you're always inquisitive about the dust. You saw, and when you saw all the pictures on TV, people were covered in the dust, and how did it affect the people? And so when Officer Harris came in and he told his story, it was just so inspiring to hear him, and so compelling because he was there. Harris is a very sympathetic figure, extremely sympathetic. I mean, this guy was there, experienced it.
Right.
You have a natural tendency to say, let me help you. And that's really not our job. Can you describe what's in there? This is the box you brought.
Yeah, I believe my uniform pants and my and a shirt. I believe both is there.
And the shirt would have been inside. You'd have a jacket over it typically, or no?
No, it was pretty nice out there that day.
Okay.
And we've taken his uniform and have gone through all the same steps with that uniform, all the dust collection, all the different analysis that we did for the Deutschbank.
We get contacted by someone and we realize that a lot of that work was directly applicable and useful even today.
Those results are just coming in, and we are seeing on his uniform the same materials, the fiberglass, the asbestos, the fly ash, the cement dust, all the kinds of things that we found in that building, he got it covered with. That will test the very levels of scientific knowledge that we have, because we really don't know what this cocktail exposure over a period of 10, 20, 30 years, 50 years is going to be. You see the pictures of the people. Even his uniform, when you hold up his uniform and look at the badge, it really impacts you. Because here's this guy, and what's going to be the long-term effect?